So welcome back to week 9, where I'm doing a case study on sports betting and whether a progressive staking plan can turn a negative result into a positive outcome. Just a reminder, my hypothesis is this will not work and that you need a positive edge in order to actually gain from progressive staking in any form, even though it creates risk. So let's go through the quick rules. The quick rules are the selections must have a negative expectation, which I'm doing by just selecting every single sport game out there. And if I can get the bet matched, providing the market is fairly formed, then I'll take the odds which are available, which is generally a 1 to 2% before commissions are paid losing amount. Now, there needs to be a number of bets to get through this, and as I said, I'm going through lots and lots and lots of selections as quickly as possible. And there needs to be a maximum loss limit, and I chose 1,000 as I believe that would be a lot for most people to feel like they have risked. So how has testing gone so far? So here's a summary of all of the tests, and during the week, test 6 finished up positively. So it was up over $1,000, which is great. Test 7 has kicked off, and as it always does when a new test kicks off without much progressive staking being involved early, it usually starts with a bit of a loss, and it is again down $154.85. Now, a surprising thing out of this is the running total of all 7 tests has actually increased my bank by $1,323. Now, that's surprising considering I expected that this would lose. But as I go through this video, you'll see that this is still easily well within variance, and being up or down at this point really has no bearing on whether or not this will win long term. It needs more testing. So just quickly, let's go through test 6, and I want to point out one thing here. You'll see that max bet size at the bottom is a lot more than $1,000. Now this is an interesting thing where I had a rule that I would stop once I had lost $1,000. That doesn't mean that the bet can't be more than $1,000, and I didn't put that rule in there, given that I have more than the amount in there to cover these sorts of bets easily. So we were down about $600 or $700, and it put another bet on, and that bet size was $2,743. Now, it had to wait quite a few matches until it got that bet size on, but it did get it on to I think it was a soccer match, and it got it matched at the odds, and it went on to win. And luckily for me, that's recovered this whole losing streak and essentially pushed this up so that it ended up in a profit. So I've had to think about this and whether I should allow bets greater than 1,000, and since I've been doing the testing that way anyway, I'm just going to continue and say it's just as soon as I lose $1,000. This does mean the risk is increased though. So instead of the risk really being $1,000 now, the risk is more around the $3,000 mark, maybe the $4,000 mark in extreme cases on a particular run before it hits that $1,000 loss, because we get up to about 900 in losing and it then does a bet of about 3,000 or so, that would then push us close to almost a $4,000 loss. So because I've already done 6 tests with this, I'm just going to let it go, see how often it happens. This is the first time it's crept in out of the 6 tests. We'll see what happens, but I don't want to go changing the code now that I've kind of settled on where it is and how it works. So if we look at test 6, it's got over 5,000 bets. It made a profit of almost $1,100, and when I stopped that test, it was still had $198 that it could have recovered via progressive staking. So I just wiped that out. And as we said, the 2,743 bet size is significant and not something I would want to see too often. So test 7 kicked off once we finished test 6, and that's had almost 2,000 bets. It's currently showing a loss of about $154, but it's not surprising given there hasn't been much of the progression kicking in, and generally most of them are showing a few dollars loss here and there. Now, the outstanding loss to recover is currently $329, so I would expect in the next day or two, progressive staking really kicks in and we start to recover that loss, or we blow out to the negative 1,000 pretty quickly. The max bet size for this has been so far $163, so nowhere near what I did with the other one. And that went on to win and clear that series, so it was back to $1 again. So that's kind of where I've got to with these tests again this week. Just a quick video to give you the update, and keep following along. I'll keep going. Let's get up to at least 10 tests and then I'll see where I go to from there. Thanks. Hope you enjoyed the video.